You've been asking for a sign? Well, guess what? Here you are. All of you precious souls who watch this video, there is this energy going on that something unexpected is going to be expected for you. I have 2 cards for you, 2 options. You can simply choose by your favorite flower. If any of these cards refer to your favorite flower, a rose or a lilium, or you can simply let your intuition choose the perfect card for you, the perfect option. Don't overthink it and just trust your intuition. You can also pause the video and take as much as time as you want or need to pick the card that you think has something very important to tell you or reveal something very unexpected for you. If you're drawn somehow to both of the cards, it's okay because the readings are general and maybe more than one option has something very important to tell you. I hope you had made your mind. Okay, let me choose Alpha Scoop. Okay, the Lilium is group number 1 and the Rose is group number 2. Yeah. May this reading lighten our path and illuminate our spirit. Maybe these cards reveal what only serves our highest good. We open our hearts and we quiet our minds and we trust the message that will find us today, here at this moment. With these magnificent cards. Oh my God. Okay. I have 2 decks for you. I will pick a couple of cards from each of them. And I already love the cards that I already have. Okay. Hope you guys are ready to dive in. This reading has a very specific feeling around it, and probably a lot of you guys was waiting or even asked for a sign. And it's not something that you have been wanted or expected for a short time. No, it is very weird because it feels like you've been waiting for something for a long time, and maybe it wasn't necessarily for every single day. Maybe you even gave up and forgot about it. Maybe you just told yourself, you know what? If it happens, it happens. Move on. Something like that. You even stop thinking about it. You stop talking about it. You try to stop caring. It's something that you really wanted for a long time, or you wanted very, very deeply. You never completely stopped hoping, even if you tried to stop caring. What's so strange about these cards is that they don't feel like they're talking about something completely new. This is why I say this. They feel like they're talking about something you already know, something you once wished for, something that at some point started to feel too unlikely, too delayed, too complicated, or simply impossible. And now the energy is shifting. The reading starts with the cards, the world, the universe. The first card, starting the reading with this card, is already a message. This card is the energy of something coming full circle. Something that has been developing behind the scene, even while you thought nothing was happening. You may have been looking at your life thinking, why is this taking so long? And the universe will be like, because the story wasn't finished yet. There were pieces that had to move. People had to change. Circumstances had to align. And most importantly, you had to become ready for what you were asking for. This card gives me the strongest feeling that something is reaching a point of completion. Yes, this thing that you were dreaming about or you wanted it needed a specific period of time to become ready. And when it does, now that it does, you're going to look backward and realize that some of the delays actually had a purpose. And then I have the Hermit. And this makes the message even more interesting because this card shows a period of, I can say maybe silence, maybe distance, maybe waiting, someone thinking deeply instead of acting. You may have spent a lot of time alone with this particular wish. Maybe you didn't tell people how much you actually cared. Maybe you acted like you had moved on, but internally, you still carried it. The Hermit is also the card of searching for an answer. And I feel like you've been asking yourself, is this ever actually going to happen? And the strange thing is, the answer seems to be approaching you at the exact moment you're becoming less obsessed with finding it. It's like you've been searching for a solution for a long time, and then you gave up, and now the solution is coming to you. And then I have the devil. And it is exactly where the reading gets intense. There has been an attachment here, something you couldn't completely release. And I'm not necessarily talking about something negative. Sometimes the devil appears when something had a very strong emotional or psychological hold over us. Like you can say, I don't care anymore, but then one tiny reminder appears and suddenly you're thinking about it again. That's the energy. There may also have been fear surrounding this situation, fear that it would never happen, fear that you missed your chance, fear that someone or something had too much control over the outcome. But here what I love, here is what I love. The devil is followed by the Queen of Wands. And that is a massive shift. They're both fiery cards, but the Queen of Wands shifts energy towards you. Like suddenly the energy becomes confident, magnetic, alive. And the Queen of Wands, you know, is a queen that doesn't chase. She doesn't beg. She doesn't sit around wondering whether she's worthy. She knows this. And I feel like you're stepping into that energy. And it doesn't matter you're a male or a female watching this reading. The Queen of Wands talks about a specific type of energy that you have. Something about you becomes more noticeable, more attractive, more powerful. And this could absolutely involve another person seeing you differently. Someone who may have underestimated you. Someone who thought the situation was finished. Someone who perhaps assumed you wouldn't move forward without them. And now they're seeing a completely different version of you. There's something almost like, wait, when did they become this powerful? Yeah. I have also Ace of Wands that speaks about that spark. The Ace of Wands is how should I say it? Is a beginning, a message, an invitation, an opportunity from universe, a sudden burst of movement, a help you receive from the upper hand or the upper world. There is where something that has start moving, and it is on your benefit. And because of the topic of this reading, I really wouldn't ignore this card, because this is the topic I wanted to do this reading, and this card appeared here, and it's like strongly saying that something you thought was impossible can suddenly receive an opening. Something will change in your circumstances, in something around you, and it will change everything. Not necessarily the entire result immediately, but the door opens, and for you, it is enough, because you have so much potential inside for whatever you seek, for being a partner, for finding a perfect partner, for having the perfect career, for anything you're looking for or you want. The whole situation can change surprisingly quickly. And then I have the King of Wands, that there is this powerful masculine energy. Someone who wants something and eventually acts on it. If you're asking about a person, this can represent someone who has been watching, thinking, planning, or holding themselves back, and then suddenly deciding, I'm going to do something about this. This person doesn't feel passive. They may have pride, they may have wanted to remain in control, but the King of Wands eventually moves. And paired with the Ace of Wands, that's a very interesting combination. Spark and action. Something or someone that is looking for a response. Yeah. Someone will do something, or universe will give you some signs, and then will wait for your response. Yeah. And I think that you're going to take a very good advantage of that chance, or the very tiny difference that will appear in your energy or in your circumstances. You will notice it immediately. Yeah, and then look what happens next. 10 of Pentacles. This is not a tiny little temporary improvement. Very curious of what you have decided for your life or for your future, because the 10 of Pentacles is not just this little temporary improvement. It is stability, long-term security. It is a life structure, something that can actually become established. Yeah. And this is why I'm getting the feeling that the unexpected thing isn't merely. Yeah. It's like something happens that changes your perception of what is possible. This could be financial. It could be career, could be a relationship. It could involve family, home, or long-term security. But whatever era this touches, it has the potential to become much, much bigger than what it is now. And all in your benefit. Seeing the 9 of Pentacles is like, I really love what it says. You see, 9 of Pentacles in someone who has all the good things in the world. Someone needs to become awesome or to make what they want actually happen and possible. And this is exactly what this card is saying to you. You're not getting this unexpected thing expected because someone is coming to save you or something like that. You're getting it because you're becoming someone who can stand on their own, independent, self-sufficient, confident, attractive, secure. You will protect your boundaries, your energy, your life. I'm sure that you've been doing this for a long time and you're even a little tired. The only type of help that I see in this reading that will come to save you is something from universe, not from a person or something. There's something incredibly satisfying about this card because it says, look at what you've built while you were waiting. You've been waiting, you've been a little quiet, a little silent, but look what you have become. Yeah. And I love the way this reading is talking about the shift that will happen in your life. Yeah. This is the card that makes, I have the Justice. And I love this because this is the card that makes the whole reading feel almost eerie, if I want to say. It is mysterious, but it is in a very positive way. Yeah. Because justice is about things being corrected, things being balanced. Finally, everything making sense. Something that was unfair gets addressed. Something unresolved gets resolved. Something that was left hanging gets an answer. Yeah. The strongest message I get from these cards is this: don't decide the ending before the story is over. You may have already emotionally closed the door on something. You may have said, okay, I accept it. And maybe you genuinely did. But acceptance doesn't always mean the universe is finished with the situation. Sometimes you stop chasing something, and that's when circumstances finally begin moving towards you. Yeah. And it feels like you go from waiting and wondering to reclaiming your power, to a spark, to someone taking action, to stability, to independence, to the return of something familiar, and finally resolution. So if you came across this reading randomly and immediately thought of one specific thing or one person, one opportunity, one dream, one message, one outcome, do not ignore that reaction. Because this reading has a very particular energy. It's almost like finding an older letter you had forgotten about and discovering that it contains the answer you've been waiting for. Something you stopped expecting. May not be as finished as you thought. Yeah. And I don't want you to force that. Don't chase it. Don't obsess over it. Don't try to control every little detail. Just keep living, keep building, keep becoming the version of yourself that doesn't need to beg life for permission. Yeah. Because the most unexpected part may not simply be what happens, it may be when it happens, right when you finally stop expecting it, right when you say, you know what, I'm okay either way. That's when the universe may turn around and say, good, now you're ready to receive it. If I want to finish this reading in one sentence, I say something is coming to you that may simply have been waiting for the right moment to become possible. It wasn't impossible. It just needed its time. And now the time has come. My precious group number 1, I loved this reading. I hope you guys have also enjoyed and loved this reading. I hope light finds you in any path you chase in life. So I will see you in the next video and the next topic. But if you want to stay with me to see what's going on in group number 2, it's such a good news. Stay with me to see what enlightenments are waiting for us in there. Hello, my precious group number 2. All of you guys who stayed until this moment, and for all of you who picked this card, the Rose card. May this reading lighten our path and illuminate our spirit. May these cards reveal only what serves our highest good. We open our hearts and we quiet our mind, and we trust the message that we will receive today at this moment in this reading with all of these cards. Okay. The deck number 2. What are you going to reveal for us? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Are you guys ready? Let's dive in. Pile number 2. If you picked this pile, I have to say something immediately. There's a movement here. Something that has been quiet or confusing or stuck doesn't look like it's staying that way. The energy feels like you're about to receive some kind of surprise, not necessarily something completely random. It feels more like something you've been wondering about for a while and suddenly you get an answer. Yeah. There is this fast energy. Someone is thinking quickly, making a decision, wanting to say something, or suddenly taking actions. So if you've been waiting for communication, movement, or an answer, or someone to make up their mind, I think the reading says don't assume the silence means nothing is happening. There's going to be a sudden shift. A message, a conversation, someone showing up unexpectedly. And I actually feel like whatever happens here may happen much faster than you expect. It's almost like you've been watching a door that hasn't moved for ages and then suddenly it opens. I also have 3 of Cups. This brings happiness, celebration, reunion, and good news. So whatever this sudden movement is, it doesn't feel heavy. No, it will make you happy. Feels like something that gives you a reason to smile. There is this social energy around you. You may find yourself around people more, going somewhere, celebrating something, or reconnecting with someone you haven't spoken in a while. And also something is beginning. The opportunity, the sudden inspiration, the chemistry, that feeling of, oh my God, maybe this could actually happen. If this reading is about love, this can absolutely be a new spark or a very specific spark with someone. If it's about career or money, it can be a new opportunity that suddenly appears. But either way, this doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like a beginning. And I love that the Ace of Wands comes after the 3 of Cups because it almost feels like a happy interaction creates an opening for something more. I have the card the Moon, and it explains why you may not have been able to see this coming. There are things you don't know yet. Something is happening beneath the surface. You may have been relying on your intuition because you haven't had enough information. And maybe you've been thinking, am I imagining this? Is there actually something here? Should I trust what I'm feeling? And the Moon says there is more to this story, but don't rush to fill in the blanks. You don't have to know everything right now. Let the truth reveal itself. Because your next card is Temperance. This is beautiful. It tells me that whatever is unfolding, is happening through divine timing, not forced, not rushed, not no, it's things are slowly coming together. Two things that seemed separate may begin to meet in the middle. Two people may find their way back toward each other, or a situation that seemed impossible to balance may finally start making sense. So if you've been feeling weird, all you need to do is just take a breath, because the cards are basically saying it's happening, just not on your schedule, but you will like the new schedule. Yeah. It is a good thing. It is a good thing that it's not just on your schedule. I have the Hanged Man, and this explains the waiting. Something may have been suspended, may have felt like, why isn't anything happening? But the Hanged Man isn't always a denial. Sometimes it's a pause because you need to see something differently. And I feel like your perspective is changing. Maybe you're beginning to understand why something didn't happen earlier. Maybe you're realizing that what you wanted before isn't exactly what you want anymore. Or maybe you're finally seeing the situation from another person's perspective. And once you see it differently, the whole story starts to change. Yeah. And I have the 10 of Cups. Yeah. Look what comes after the pause. This is such a beautiful card to receive. Emotional happiness, connection, peace, love, feeling like things are finally falling into place. And I don't want to make this only about romance, because this card is much bigger than that. It's about the feeling of, this is where I belong. Something could bring you genuine emotional fulfillment. And for some of you, this absolutely can be a relationship becoming more serious. A recognition, or finally experiencing the kind of emotional connection you've been hoping for. For others, it could be a family, home, friendship, or simply reaching a place where your heart feels lighter. Yeah. I have the 8 of Cups. It's interesting because before you get to that emotional fulfillment, there is something you have to walk away from. And I don't think this is necessarily walking away from the thing you want. No, it can be walking away from the old version of the situation, the old expectations, the old fear, the old attachment, the habit of chasing something that isn't giving you clarity. Yeah, the 8 of Cups says you don't have to keep standing in the same place waiting for someone to choose you. Go live your life, go explore, go forward. And strangely enough, sometimes the moment you stop waiting at the door is the moment someone finally knocks. Yeah. Here comes your answer. The Ace of Swords. Clarity, truth, communication, a realization, a conversation that cuts through the confusion. Remember that moon earlier in the reading, the moon card? All that uncertainty, all that fear, all that stress. This is what comes after it. The truth becomes visible. Something gets said, something gets revealed, and you finally understand that something or someone, what they actually meant, or what that situation or what that matter actually meant. You finally know where you stand, or you finally understand why something happened the way it did. And I really like this combination, the moon and the Ace of Swords. I love this, especially when the Ace of Swords comes after the moon in a reading. First I have the moon, and then after, maybe just right after the moon or after a couple of cards, I have the Ace of Swords. I love it. Confusion first, clarity after. You're not certain, and then everything is clear. Yeah, I love this energy. It's like this feeling very relieved. Yeah. So if you've been thinking, I just wish I knew the truth, you may not have to wonder forever. Yeah, that's what the reading says. There is this movement, and the card, the Knight of Wands, represent it. The movement is fast, passionate, unexpected, Someone takes an action. It can be you, or it can be someone you want them, not expect them, but you really want them. Even if it's unexpected, or even if it is impossible, feels impossible. I said impossible. If it feels impossible, you want them to make it possible. So someone takes an action. It's you, or it's someone you really want them to. Someone follows an impulse. Someone decides they're not going to sit around anymore. And this gives the entire reading a very interesting ending, because we started with the Knight of Swords and we end with the Knight of Wands. If you look at the cards, our first card is the Knight of Swords, but the last card is the Knight of Wands. Two knights, two different kind of movement. The first one is, I need to say something, or I need to clear my head. But the second one is, I need to do something. So group number 2, my precious souls, from pile 2, I don't think I'm going to wait anymore. No, I don't think you're going to wait anymore. It feels like I don't think you're going to wait anymore. There is too much movement here. I think you will be busy. You will be busy with a lot of actions, or responding to different actions, or reacting to different actions people took for you, or because of you, or for something related to you. And I think there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of energy. Everything is going to be very hurry, and you're going to do a lot of things, and you will be so happy for that. You will be grateful for that. The most important message for you is, don't mistake the current silence for the final outcome. There are things happening that you cannot see yet. Something may suddenly become clear. Something may suddenly communicate. An opportunity suddenly appears. A connection may suddenly begins. And the funny thing is, you might actually be surprised by how quickly everything changes. Your path will not change just step by step. No, you are taking a lot of steps. You have to keep going. You have to do it. You have to start it. Whatever you need to do for yourself, for your path, whatever it is. It can be something different you do, or just sticking to your, keeping your health and your life together. Anything you just need to, be the way you do, and you really have a routine. I see that. But the thing that is here is that the result for you is not going to be is not going to be visible step by step. It's going to change in 1 second. Like, yeah, and that will worth it. So don't force that. Don't chase it. Don't obsess over every little sign. Keep moving. Keep living. Keep your heart open. But remember and be sure that everything is going to be solved in 1 second, in 1 day, in 1 night, with 1 phone call, with an email, with a reaction. Yeah. So your cards are showing me a story that goes from confusion to perspective, to emotional fulfillment, to walking away from something old, to truth, and finally to action. And that is a beautiful progression. So if there is something you've been secretly hoping for, something you haven't even told many people about, I wouldn't completely write it off yet. Because sometimes life doesn't give you the answer when you're staring directly at the door. Sometimes you turn around, you start walking, and that's when you hear, wait, come back. Something calls you. When you just, on your own routine, I mean, don't mistake this with not taking any actions. No, you will take actions. You will be very productive. I already see that you have a routine for your life, for your goals, for yourself. You're trying to make your life and you yourself a better version of yourself, and that is valuable. But it's what this reading is saying is that it's not going to be clear every second after the other second. It's not going to be visible, more visible after each step you take. It's going to show you the result in a specific moment. And that is why you should expect the unexpected. My precious group number 2. You are closer than what you think to the change that you expect. However, it seems unexpected for you. Yeah, I love this. And I hope also you guys love and enjoyed this reading. Please tell me what you think about my readings, and I would be very happy if you write down your favorite topics so I can do readings for them as well. I hope light finds you in any path you choose in life, and I will see you in the next video and in the next reading. Till that moment, goodbye.